Hi my loves, welcome to your cosmic weather report for the week ahead. We've got a week this week of learning, anchoring, grounding, growth. And I know I mentioned to you in a post last week about how we need to root to rise, and the deeper the roots, the greater the rise. And this week is going to really help us to see that and to really begin to establish these deep roots and foundations so that we can begin to rise and grow. Now, this begins on Tuesday as we get the Sun sextile Saturn. Now, the Sun is our personality, it's our ego, it's who we're here to shine as. And Saturn is the planet of boundaries, of foundations, but Saturn's also the teacher of the zodiac. And so what I'm really feeling as the Sun sextile Saturn, this is a really supportive aspect where the planets blend their energies together to work together, is that over the past few weeks and months, we've been through such a huge evolutionary, transformational time that at times might have felt too much. It's been a lot of big energy with the eclipse portal and Mercury retrograde and that big Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, and we've just been through an awful lot of big energy. And it feels like for many of us, we've changed. Who we are has changed over the past weeks, months, maybe even years. And it's this week, it's with the energies of this week that we really then begin to establish who we are now. So the Sun meeting Saturn for me is really helping you to learn about what you've been through, learn about how you've grown, learn about yourself, and to learn about who you are now, and to begin to lay some really deep foundations and roots in your newfound sense of self, and to create some new boundaries around going forwards now, what you are and are no longer willing to accept anymore in your life, setting some new boundaries around what isn't okay for you based on who you've grown into. So this feels like such a beautiful time of learning, knowing who we now are on a much deeper level, and beginning to not just know that but embody that. It's that embodied wisdom now of who I've grown into, what I now know, what I've been through, and where it is that I now want to go. So this just feels like a very deep embodied wisdom is all I can give you. It's taking what we've been through, it's learning the lessons from it. It's Saturn helping to teach us what it's all been for, so that we can now lay and establish a new foundation from which to grow even more. Now, on this same day, we get Mercury conjunct Chiron. This is the third time that Mercury and Chiron have met each other as Mercury's been in its retrograde dance. And so this is now almost the moment where, again, the lessons become clear, the messages become clear. Now, what this is really helping us with is, as Chiron has been in Aries, it's been working with us all as a collective around our wounding of our worth. It's the wounds of our worth around where we don't feel worthy and deserving, where we don't feel like we've got anything to offer or anything to give. It's the wound of I am, not knowing who you are, not knowing what you want, not feeling like the fullness of yourself. And so it's really beautiful that Mercury meets Chiron on the same day that we get this Sun sextile Saturn, because it feels like there's going to now be again a big message around what you've been through, what you've grown through, what you've healed through, and how that has now helped you to become the version of you that you are today. And a knowing now of what it's all been for, what it's all been showing you, and how you can take it all and begin to now move forwards with a much deeper sense of self-worth and self-knowing and value, and knowing what you've got to offer. And this is all such important information, because the only other big aspect we've got this week is then on Wednesday, which is the Taurus new moon. Now, this Taurus new moon really does feel like a new beginning in so many ways. This is the first new moon after the eclipses, so it now opens up a new cycle to work with. And this new moon is working with Jupiter and Uranus, so it's kind of giving a reignition to the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction energies. And it's really asking us now to anchor into these new energies, to again take what we've been through and learned and grown through, and how we've evolved and transformed and grown into more of ourselves, and begin to anchor that now into reality, anchor that into an embodiment, into a wisdom, into a deep knowing. And this moon is going to really help us to pause, to check in with where we are. So especially if the last few weeks have just felt like a lot, it's felt like too much, it's been too intense, this moon is going to feel like a warm hug, like laying down on the earth and just being held and supported. And then from that, this moon is then going to help us to continue the work that Venus moving into Taurus started, which is laying very deep roots of self-care, self-worth, self-knowing, really coming home to yourself. And the deeper now these roots we put in of self-worth and your values and what you want to live by and how you want to move forwards and who you want to be and what really matters to you in life and what you deeply desire and what it is you're going to stand for now going forwards, the deeper that we can set these roots down, the more we can then begin to rise into more and more and more and more of ourselves. So this new moon is going to be now the moment where we take everything we've been through and we begin to work with these really beautiful energies we've got in nature at the moment. We've just had Beltane, that cross-quarter festival. We're moving now towards those summer energies. So everything is abundant and fertile and alive. And there's just this creative life force energy in the air all around us that's really helping us to grow and to bring to life our next evolution, our next phase, the next version of ourselves, what it is that we really, really want to create and manifest and bring into our lives. And so this new moon is going to work with all of those energies combined with those Jupiter-Uranus energies, which wanted us to really begin to step into new levels of abundance and expansion and manifestation. And from this place of being really deeply rooted and anchored into who we are, what we want, what we value, and knowing how worthy and deserving we are based on our self-worth practices and how much we're giving to ourselves and putting ourselves first, this is going to help us then to really begin to grow into our full potential, into everything we've been hoping for, all of the intentions we've set over the eclipse portal, the Mercury retrograde and the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, and everything we've been wanting to bring in. This now is going to be the moment where we get to anchor it into reality. We get to bring it into reality. So it gives us this whole new cycle, a new beginning, and new energies to move into, a new way of being that's based more on our abundance, our expansion, and our worth. So we're moving forwards now from a different place of knowing, like deeply, truly knowing who we are and that we're worthy and deserving of all that we desire and want to create and manifest in our lives. And that everything that we need to bring to life what it is that we want, it's already within us. So just like the seed contains everything it needs to be able to grow into the fullest potential of what it's going to be, we contain within us everything that we need to be able to grow into our fullest potential. And it's under this new moon that we begin to send the roots down of that, so that then that seed can begin to open and blossom and bloom and grow. So this is a really exciting week now of establishing a new sense of self, a new sense of worth, really beginning to live by our values and stand by your truth, and anchoring into this whole new reality that we're going to create in this new cycle and moving forwards. So a big week, an exciting week. There is going to feel a big shift of energy come this week. As always, if you want to work with the lunar energies, the Lunar Living Sisterhood is always there. That's the place that I can really go in depth with all the energies and really be able to explain it in a much more profound way. We get together twice a month, and in a way like this, you get 45 minutes with me where I will just tell you everything you need to know about what's going on in the skies and in the energy around us to help us to really begin to navigate a new way forwards. And otherwise, you can still get the replay of the Beltane workshop. The energies are still good. In that workshop, we really anchored into new levels of self-love, self-worth, self-care, and then we began to awaken our inner creatrix to expand into the fullness of self. And you can still get the replay of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which will help you to activate your soul's abundance. So if you now want to move forwards in a new way in a new level of abundance, expansion and worth, it might be worth taking that workshop if you didn't already. So as always, I try to just, because so many ways that you can work deeper into these energies so that we can really understand them, work with them, use them and evolve with them. So have a beautiful week, my loves. It's going to be we've got such beautiful Taurus energies, which are going to bring us back home to ourselves, our true selves, and help us to really anchor into that and find a new way forwards from there. So enjoy this week, enjoy the energies. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll be back soon.